Those are us. I am George. We are all George. Round two, Bitcoin dip explained. I had a video that I published earlier today giving you guys a live update on what has happened with Bitcoin. And I've educated myself a little bit more. So I'm going to try to explain this very, very complicated situation that caused the Bitcoin to dip. Now, there is also this other phenomenon I want to talk about, and I'm going to test it. I'm going to see if it's actually happening, because there is something that's quite funny that we've all joked about before, and maybe it's not a joke at all. So thanks for tuning in. A little bit later today, I had something to do, but I'm glad you guys are here with me. So smash the like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, so you don't miss out on any of my future streams, and make sure you hit that notification bell. Follow me on Twitter and Facebook. All right. So again, round two, had some sound issues the last time, so I'm glad you guys stuck around. Let me change my screen here. There we go. So Bitcoin is at 47,000. It dipped literally. Let me talk about the phenomenon first. Literally, I would say minutes after that update video that I posted around 6 o'clock or so. And Bitcoin was right around here. Literally a minute or two afterwards, this happened. I was checking my phone. I was getting ready. And I'm like, what? Did I miss something? And all of a sudden, Bitcoin dropped down to about 46,200. Now it's coming back up around $47,000. And a lot of you guys follow me on Twitter, right? So I even tweeted this out. Think F2 Pool stalking my video releases, because as soon as it posted, there was another 1,000-point dump. And then people chimed in and said, you know what? It's not just you, because it's happening to BitBoy. So I'm wondering if it's happening more to him than me, because supposedly he was having a stream at the same time and he was placing some long bets. And as soon as he did that, it started tanking. So I don't know if this is a coincidence, or F2 Pool or someone else is actually literally following him and doing the reverse. So if you look at his Twitter, there's a couple ones. Oh, not that one. I guess it reversed. But if you go down, I guess safe to say that we lost that trade. So something happened, and then here's another one where someone's saying every time there's a good buying signal, it dips some more. It seems like it's being manipulated. If it's F2 Pool shenanigans, I don't know. It's just too much of a coincidence, right? So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens during this stream. But yeah, I just want to mention that, he's at first I'm like, is my timing that impeccable? Or is someone looking at it? So there's that. But that is not the real reason, I believe, why Bitcoin dipped. This morning, things were looking pretty good. Up to 50,000. And then all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, dipped to about 48.7. Then broke down to about 47 and looked like it was coming right back up. 48.7. Then boom, we had this, right? So now we're coming up a little bit. Overall, like I got done saying in my last video, not time to panic. Whenever there's buying opportunities, usually a good time to pick some up, right? But here's the thing. So the big story of the day has to be this. And I mentioned this earlier. Some of you guys may have watched it. Sometimes maybe you missed it, but I'm going to explain a little better today. So the reason why the market dipped from 50,000, at least I think for Bitcoin, is because Fed Chairman Powell supposedly rocked the market with his lack of action plan. Okay. So at first I was looking at it, I was digging, and you know what? It didn't make a whole lot of sense, because to summarize, Powell thinks that the economy is going to get better. Right now, he is seeing there is inflation. Okay. He predicted there will be inflation. Of course, with all this capital injection, there is going to be more inflation. He wanted inflation rate to be above 2%, and I believe that's what he's seeing. But he believes that once the market, the U.S. economy opens up, that inflation will die down back to normal. Okay. Now there are some fears about that maybe and before that, and also because of that, he's not going to raise interest rates. So interest rates is near zero right now, right? So he would only raise that if inflation gets too high. So there are some fears that maybe he's going to raise inflation rates, raise rates a little bit too late. And maybe by then inflation will be really, really, really high, right? But when inflation occurs, when your money buying power decreases, that's like what you want if you're a Bitcoin holder, right? That's the main I guess catalyst of why people are buying Bitcoin in the first place. But that's not the entire story. So that at face value, if you look at a lot of these articles, that's what it's talking about, right? And obviously what he said devastated the market. This is now showing futures, which isn't actually that bad because Dow's futures down 37 points, NASDAQ, S&P. So it looks like, the market is adapting to this. But today the Dow fell down about 400 points and everything fell down. And the futures market was looking really bad, but now it's looking like it's a little better. But here, someone in my Patreon educated me a little bit and also did some more research why this is not what it appears. So number one is a lot of people start talking about that the 10-year Treasury note started rising to 1.573%, and it was at 1.4%. And you look at this, you're like, big whoop. It went up 0.1%. What is the deal? What is the deal? Why is this such an important thing that everyone is looking at? Well, number one is, and a lot of you guys will laugh at this, okay? A lot of investors, especially the old school investors, their portfolio is made up of 60% stocks and 40% bonds or notes. Yes, that's right. They hold 40% of their portfolio with notes or bonds that pay 1.4, 1.5%. So think about that. So one reason why the increasing interest on bonds or notes is that it gives less incentive for some of these investors to buy stocks. That's why you have a stock sell-off, because a lot of them would rather hold on a 1.5% 10-year Treasury note than stocks. As laughable as that is, that's how a lot of people build their portfolio. 40% in notes or treasuries. So if the interest rate on notes or treasuries go up, then they actually sell off their stocks, which is why you had a stock sell-off today too. So that's one reason. And most of us, when I talk about Bitcoin and crypto, I talk about 50% diversification. For these guys, it's 1% in crypto, but 40% or 39%, I should say, is in safe haven assets like bonds, I guess. All right, so that's number one. Number two is there's a lot of worry about this the repo market. And the repo market, there's trillions and trillions and trillions of this that basically is changing hands every single day. And there's a problem with it now. There's a problem with it. And where is it? I saw this. The rate to borrow a 10-year treasury in the repo market plunged to minus 4% this week. And it should never go into the negatives. It happened late in 2019. It happened again a year ago, sometime in 2020. It happened now, which means investors are paying money to borrow 10-year bonds, when it's normally the other way around. So because of this, that means people are basically, they don't want treasuries anymore. They're actually shorting it. They want to get rid of it. And because of it, that is why Powell and the guys in the government, they have to raise the interest rates on treasuries because less and less people want it. And, all the stimulus package, everything that's going on, especially in the U.S., this new $1.9 trillion, they have to repay that somehow, right? One way is to raise taxes. Another way is to just sell more treasury. But if no one wants it, then what are they going to do? They're in trouble. So then they have to raise interest rates. So it's a very complex system. That's as far as I understand. It's a very, very complex system. But ultimately, it's like a house built on cards. You know, it's like one thing and another thing. It's all intricate, but none of it is really good. None of it is really good if you think about it. People don't want treasury, so the government has to raise the rates, right? And then you have to worry about inflation, which is still rampant, right? And the interest rates are already low. So, I mean, there's a whole lot of things going on. And there's endless printing that's still happening, right? So I don't envy Powell, and I don't envy Yellen. I don't envy what they have to go through. There's just a lot of things going on right now in a really, really tsunami world of bad stuff that's happening right now. So to sum up, basically people were expecting Powell to do more, to either buy more bonds, I guess. The government already buys, the Federal Reserve buys $120 billion worth of bonds per month. So I guess one of the things people were looking at is for him to buy more bonds instead of 120 billion. I don't know, buy 200 billion, buy 500 billion dollars of the bonds. I don't know what is the right number. So people were expecting him to buy more bonds or raise interest rates or do something. I don't know what that something is. So that's why it feared a lot of people. With all these reasons, right? That's why Dow crashed today, why Bitcoin came down today, and why really everything came down today, except 10-year treasury notes and oil for some reason. So that's as best as I can explain it. Now, some of you guys may know this a lot better, but that's what happened. Now, that's what brought Bitcoin down from 50,000 down to, I believe, around 47 and back up to 49, right? What happened afterwards, I don't know. That could be F2 Pool. That could be someone that is trying to scare people out right now, right? Looking at F2 Pool, I updated this for a while now, and I don't see any crazy outflows. So I'm just going to do that to show you guys. Let me see if I can move my camera without screwing myself up, turning myself upside down again. So you could see that the outflow actually, I mean, there's some peaks, but overall, not too bad. Actually, the last few hours actually have been kind of tame. And I was looking at exchange inflows too, just really nothing. So I don't think it's from active pool, but who knows? Or it's from some other whales. Supposedly, I've been hearing about this other whale that commands like $60 million and stuff, and he could swing markets up and down. I don't know. It just sounds like a whole lot of baloney. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. But what should we do about it, right? What is the message? The message doesn't change. First of all, I know you guys have heard me say this before. Bitcoin is at $47,000. Okay, so put things in perspective. It's at $47,000, or it's at $50,000 earlier today. This is not time to be panicking. This is not time to be panicking at all. Especially those of us that lived through 2017, 2018, 2019. But for those of you guys that didn't, well, if you lived through the last 2 months, let's say 3 months, you lived through some of this already. There's times of periods where flat, there may be some volatility up and down, but we have seen this time and time again. So definitely not time to panic, right? Ultimately, the strategy is still the same. It's the same. You hodl. What is hodl? Hold on to dear life, right? You hodl on to your bag. You hold on to your Bitcoin and crypto, right? And if you have an opportunity, dollar cost average. If you buy a little bit, it goes up, great. You're gaining. If it goes down, it's okay. You dollar cost average a little more. And over a long haul, you're getting that bottom price. You're averaging out your buys. And when things come up, you're going to be rewarded with gains too. And that's how you prosper. That's simply it, right? That's why I've been mixing in a lot more videos. Like earlier this morning, right? I purposely created one about NFTs because NFTs are really hot right now. There's a lot of good plays. That's why I purposely mixed it up and did NFTs rather than try to come up with another video to kind of explain up to pool and try to, explain the dip, right? That's my mentality right now. I mean, look at NFTs right now. These these projects are hot, 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 hot. No matter what anyone says, they're very, very hot, right? So besides NFTs, there's others that hold very, very well. Surprisingly, like today, Uniswap is up. Even XRP is up, right? So some altcoins are actually holding pretty good. But overall, the name of the game is when there's a bargain, if you can, take advantage and basically hold on until you make some serious gains. All right, so hopefully that explains it. Hopefully I got everything correct about what happened with Powell, with the economy. Now, I hear some comments about, hey, you Americans only talk about the U.S. and, you don't dominate the world. Well, I hate to say it, we do. The U.S. economy is the one that is number one in the world, and all these other regions, they kind of follow what happens after the U.S. declares something. So it kind of does. It kind of does relate to what's going on in the U.S. Now, some will argue it's not, but I'm going to argue it does. So, but the good thing is we will get through this. And also looking at a broader market right now, the futures are actually recovering. I thought they would be worse, but they're not. I mean, but the whole thing of what Powell is saying right now, it sounds bad, but the whole thing, what he's saying is he sees the economy blooming again in the near future when lockdown pandemic comes to an end, when everyone gets their vaccine, should they choose to get it, right? Things are going to open up again. So overall, he's seeing a better future. So that's also something to look forward to, and we know that that is also coming. But despite all that, right? I showed this earlier today. There is going to be inflation for sure. Make no mistake about it. There's inflation, even though Powell says inflation should be around 2% every single year. It's a lot more than that. I don't know how he's measuring it, right? But if you're measuring it with anything, really, any assets, the US dollar is depreciating immensely, 15-20% per year. That is why if you versus sats, and a lot of new guys don't even know what a sat is, one Satoshi. But if you versus sats, you could clearly see even $1 a year ago has dropped 81%, 82% versus Bitcoin. 2 years ago, it's down 92%. And if you go beyond 5 years, it's basically all above 99%. So 10 years ago, you could have bought 10 million sats. I don't even know how many Bitcoins that is for $1 freaking dollar. And then that obviously has decreased tremendously over the years, right? So if you versus dollar versus any assets, Bitcoin, real estate, basketball cards, NFTs, literally anything, it is decreasing at an exponential rate right now. So make no mistake, inflation is definitely real. It's hard to notice year over year when you're paying for, I don't know, Happy Meals, but it definitely is noticeable when you're trying to buy something that is an asset. You'll definitely notice it. All right. So let me turn to you guys for some Q&A. Hopefully I didn't give you guys a migraine after all that. Now, I did miss some super chats earlier. I apologize. The last one is Steven Andre asks, what's up, George? Do you see BTC ever being adopted as the world's digital currency? I love BTC as an asset and store value. Which one is capable of being adopted? I mean, the way things are going, I would not be surprised by it. Maybe not as soon as we would like, but you know what? The world would really love to get off the USD if they can. Especially like countries like China, Russia. The whole world's on a USD standard. USD is strong, even though it inflates, it's strong versus all other currencies, right? But as Bitcoin gets more and more adopted and Bitcoin rises in value, who's to say that all these other countries won't start buying BTC and utilizing that as the bridge currency or the digital dominant digital currency, right? It could happen. It could happen, right? And who's that? Who just said that recently? There was a big company that just said it. I think it's a bank, Citibank or someone that actually just said that recently. So it's not far fetched. It's not far fetched. Michael asks, Solana enough to become a top 10 project? Well, Solana has come up quite a bit. I don't know if it could be a top 10 though. Maybe it's halfway there. It's like 5 billion already. No, 3 billion. But I say VeChain is more likely to be a top 10 than Solana. VeChain has seen some love recently. It was above 5 cents. Love to see it get past 10 cents. But yeah, I mean, Solana is a good blockchain, no doubt. But I like VeChain a lot more. I was just talking with some people about VeChain. Like VeChain is so undervalued based on what they have already. It's nuts. It's nuts. VeChain should be like right at number 3, if not number 2. If you look at how much usage and adoption VeChain has already within China, it's more than what Ethereum could dream of. It's really amazing. It's amazing. Yes, I am drinking a White Claw hard seltzer today. Thanks, Jamie. New York, you retracted your message. Nightcrawler, was the huge BTC crack and inflow from F2 pool? That's what we don't know. It seems like it's very hard to track these. I have people telling me that they're trying to track these addresses and it just like disappears. I don't know how CryptoQuant does it, but it's really hard to actually track where these are going. So I don't know. If CryptoQuant has the address, I don't know why they can't just share it. You know, they could easily track it, right? Because they claim that this is affiliate miners outflow, so it must be coming from individual miners, but who? Right? If they could separate it out, then they should be able to tell us. OG is asking about Luxo. A lot of people have been asking about Luxo. They actually do have a good team, and they have a good advisor team. But you know what? I think you just gotta wait. You gotta wait it out. Luxo is the main draw to them is the main guy that started it. He's a main Ethereum developer back in the day. Created a ERC20 standard, so very, very impressive. But you know, people are saying Luxo is go get into NFTs. There's no mention of that. It's more of like a chain for social media or fashion or gaming. They can move into NFTs, but they're not really into it. I don't get this connection. Everyone keeps claiming that it's an NFT play. It's not. They're not going all out with NFTs. Israel. Hey again, man. Not an ICX question for once. Do you feel Yellen and SEC will place more market regulations based on what looks like clear market manipulation, the fact that big companies be okay? Also, really White Claw. Instead of drinking Diet Coke, I'm trying to drink something else. All right, I'm trying to get off Diet Coke. But I think so, and I don't think it's a bad thing. You know, recently we have seen Tether cave in, right? We see BitMEX cave in because not cave in, but the authorities going after the leadership. So if there is pure manipulation going on, especially with some of these exchanges that control a large amount of Bitcoin and crypto, I actually think that's a good thing. Some will argue, you know, hardcore, you know, decentralized maximists will say, no, we don't need anything, right? But obviously we're seeing it. We're seeing it in front of us, right? So I think partial is good without stopping innovation. That's what Yellen said. I don't know if she truly understands it all, but she said she doesn't want to stop innovation. She just wants to make sure that market manipulation doesn't occur. And same thing with the new SEC nominee. He said that too. So I actually think that's not a bad thing. Duke asked, did you get accepted by Kraken to use a new bank login? No, I haven't tried. No, and I did not apply. I didn't know that's a thing. Thoughts on KuCoin? Seems good and unrated. It's a great exchange. If you can't use Binance, a lot of people tell me if you're in New York and Texas, you can't get on Binance.us either. KuCoin is a good alternative. They have a lot. They have a lot of tokens, like even BNB. You could buy BNB on there. You could buy PancakeSwap on there. And they have a wide variety. A lot of these new projects, like people asking about Luxo, that's on KuCoin too. So yeah, KuCoins are good. And they have their KuCoin token, what I think is undervalued at this point. So yeah, they're good. And I have my affiliate link in the description. What is holding out VETDEN? China. China is holding it down. China still doesn't allow people to trade, to buy crypto, but they soon will when they unleash their digital yuan and their digital wallets. But until then, that's what's holding them down, I believe. Can you compare and contrast DOT and ADA and their differences? What's a better outlet? That's too hard, man. That's too hard. Cardano's main thing is, just think about it, right now it's leadership. Charles, also, he's trying to make it the most decentralized blockchain ever. And supposedly he's working on, a big contract with Africa. So that's what a lot of people are, hoping for. Cardano is a layer of chains, multiple chains. They're building pretty much everything. Native tokens, so that allows NFT creations. Also, they're coming out their own Oracle system. So they're trying to develop like everything. Polkadot is more like a advanced version of Ethereum. Ethereum hopes to be Polkadot. I mean, honestly, Polkadot is that far ahead. And Gavin Wood is really outstanding too. And everything on Polkadot is also parachains that can communicate with each other. They're working on an interoperable bridge that connects them to, say, others, especially with Ethereum, so that you can port Ethereum dApps over. And they have formed other partnerships, like with Chainlink for oracles and stuff like that. They're kind of close, but still different. But they're kind of neck and neck. There's a lot of believers in both. So you can't go wrong with holding either one. Do you think, Ox asked, do you think Wax has a chance to go even higher? Yes, that was what my video this morning was about. Looking at some of these NFT plays, I think Wax is actually pretty undervalued versus the competition. Joy asked, should I sell Ethereum for DOT or Link? That's up to you. You have to decide. I think Ethereum still will go up. It still goes up. It's more or less in tandem with Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin goes up 10x, Ethereum will too. But will they outperform Cardano, Polkadot, or Binance Chain? I don't know. That's hard. That's going to be really hard. I mean, Vitalik is working on what he calls roll-ups, which is basically layer 2 solutions right now. Maybe that'll happen. Yeah, I hear a lot of bad things about Diet Coke. So that's why I'm trying to cut it down as much as possible. I think I didn't miss any more there. Bama boy, Blue, your most valuable asset is credibility and you're a wealthy man. I appreciate that. Looking at engine and flow, I think I might be too late. Should I wait for a dip on either? Yes. I mean, yes and no. Right now, with Bitcoin being at 47, maybe it goes down more, but you never know. You never know about time. You can never time top or bottom. Both of them, I think, is undervalued because of how hot NFTs are and how much hotter they will get. But like I say, sometimes you just dollar cost average it. If you're thinking about putting $1,000 in, $5,000 in, put a little bit in. If it goes down, put a little bit more, right? But when things are at discount right now, especially with Bitcoin being down 7% versus yesterday, that's a discount. And if you look at where Bitcoin was at 58,000 versus now, that's a substantial discount, right? So it's a hard call, but I would say dollar cost average is your best bet. Fabian made a ERC 725. Okay, the new standard. Well, that's for personal accounts. I looked at that. Fabian talks about new version of smart NFTs in a lot of videos. As far as I looked at it, ERC 725 is supposed to be for accounts. I don't know how that relates to NFTs, but if it does, and you can make better versions of NFTs utilizing it, that'd be great. But ERC 725 is not complete yet, but they're working on it. But anyways, I'm surprised how many people like Luxo. I mean, it does seem like a pretty good project. You know, I wasn't really on board right away, but after looking at it, doesn't look bad. I mean, their blockchain is supposed to be out in spring in 2021. It is almost spring already, so they should be out pretty soon. Thoughts on Reef? I'm just neutral on Reef. DeFi play, encompassing DeFi play on Polkadot. There's just so many people keep shilling it for some reason. I don't know what it is, but they're not even complete yet, so I would hold off for a little bit. Aldo Tisk, are AMP and Stellar going to stay dumped or neutral for another 3 weeks or in the future? Well, you can't say in the future. What does that mean? Like forever? No. Stellar maybe. No, I'm just kidding. Stellar, I mean, there's not a lot going on. But AMP, I think once the economy opens up, especially in the US, because they are a retail play, especially with Flexa, you know, AMP is interesting. It's more like a settlement. It's a collateral token for settlement for businesses. So you could go to Office Depot or I don't know what AMC theaters and use Flexa to pay. And AMP is an integral part of that. So I think once the economy opens up, they'll be good. What do you think about Gate Chain? Supposedly upcoming Gate Chain. I have no idea. Gate token, Gate Chain. Public blockchain dedicated to asset safety. What does that mean? It's like a difficulty bomb or time bomb built in or something. What does decentralized safety mean? On-chain asset safety and decentralized trading with a uniquely designed vault account primed for handling abnormal transactions. What's abnormal transactions? Okay. So something about making trading more safe. Some special clearing mechanism and something that prevents private key loss. I don't know about that. I don't get it. I have not heard of any other project have something similar to that. Rich Buddy, that's a lot of messages being deleted. I guess it's good I don't see them. What else? Did I miss anything? Did you hear about a 31 million hack on DeFi project Meekrat? Yes, I did. And that's one thing I want to make a comment on because I told one of my patrons today because he's like, you know, you could stake on all these yield farms and get crazy APR. I'm like, be careful because a lot of these projects, they grow really rapidly. You don't know what their security is like. You know, their smart contract vulnerabilities or their infrastructure is not good or whatever. They could get hacked and you could lose everything right away, right? So there's a lot of yield farming projects that pop up. They get really popular and everyone just stakes right away. Be careful because sometimes you just don't know how good they are. Got the Travis drop on Nifty Gateway today. Okay. Azure Fire, Mana is good. It's an NFT play. One of the hot projects of today. You could see up pretty good, 5%, 57% for the day, for the week. So, NFT play, very good one. Kendall, you're George, I am George. Yes. We're all Georges here. IOTA coming with upgrades and major release. I saw that. Supposedly, they're adding smart contracts after how many years? So they're test betting their smart contracts platform, and they're testing out the quarter side, which they're going to try to get rid of the quarter coordinator node. That has been ongoing for like 6 years. That's why I've been so bearish on IOTA. They just like can't seem to get it all done. But you know what? Maybe that would come soon. Steven asks, I meant Kraken versus eToro versus Cardano. Okay. Never used eToro before. Kraken seems okay. So there's a lot of places to buy Cardano. You can buy on Voyager. You can buy it at Binance.us. Thoughts on Link? I'm around 30. I'm a noob. Should I hold or dump? You should never dump. Honestly, when you're buying a crypto, especially like a big cap like Link, you should not dump. They're up there. They're in top 10 for a reason, right? Just because you have some sell-off right now doesn't mean that anything fundamentally changed. Link is the dominant Oracle play, so they're not going to go away anytime soon. Someone keeps asking about Ren. Ren is a good play on both Ethereum and Binance Smart Chain. They're about creating synthetic tokens for use in DeFi projects. So they're good. They're a good play for DeFi. What do you think about all new updates on Phantom? I don't know about the new updates. I know about all these projects from Andrew Kronge. I need to actually know how to say his name, but a lot of them moved to Phantom, so that's fantastic. They also have their own DeFi. So I think Phantom is actually a pretty good project. Pretty good project. Harmony for $1. I did not look at Harmony yet, so can't really comment. Supposedly, I forgot. I keep getting asked about Harmony. Creation and use of decentralized applications. Yes, almost every single one is. Steven Tsai, founder, is a PhD from University of Pennsylvania, specializing in cryptographic protocols and type theory. Okay, so that's good. Worked at Microsoft as an intern. I don't know enough about it to really comment on it. Colin, I used to like Band Protocol, not anymore. You know, it just seems like they're not really making a whole lot of headway in the Oracle space. Everyone is going to Chainlink. All right, guys. I'll let you guys go. I'll enjoy my White Claw to myself. But, you know, hopefully you got a better explanation why Bitcoin dipped today from 50,000 all the way down to about 47,000. A lot of concerns about what Fed Chairman Powell said, or I should say the lack of action. So we'll see. We'll see how the market reacts tomorrow. It does seem like, at least from a broader market, things are looking better. But you know what? Bitcoin, crypto is a little bit different. Sometimes we move in tandem, sometimes we don't, right? And ultimately, we know that Bitcoin is the ultimate store value. You want to sell fiat and buy something that can actually hedge against inflation, and that is Bitcoin, right? So Bitcoin, despite maybe some weakness, and let's not forget, just last week we were down to 43,000. So I mean, honestly, we're still up week over week. But you know, despite the fact there's some turbulence sometimes, right? The name of the game is stay strong, buy the dips, and hold them. That's simply it. That's simply it. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. As always, smash the like, subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Have a good night, guys. Bye-bye.